we will now give the definition of a one form on a one manifold. We currently do not have the full tools of multilinear algebra yet to define the integral of a one form on a one manifold, but nevertheless we can define the integral in a special case once we define what a one form and a one manifold is. Let me give the definition now. Definition: let M subset of Rn be a C1 smooth one dimensional manifold. Now I'm going to define the one form on a special set. This special set is actually going to be a manifold, but I'm not going to prove that in this course. This set is called the tangent bundle. It's called tangent bundle and it's denoted Tm. And as you can guess, it's just the bundle of all tangent vectors. It's just defined to be x comma v such that x is coming from M and v is coming from Txm. So what you essentially do is you pick up all the points on the manifold M, and for each point you just tag along in the second coordinate all possible tangent vectors. You put this together in a set, you get this tangent bundle called Tm. Okay. Now a one form on M is a map from omega from Tm to R such that when you fix the point A and you consider it as a function in the second slot, then this will become a map from TAM to R. This is a linear functional. So essentially what a one form and a one manifold is nothing but a linear functional at each tangent space of the manifold. Okay. Now as you notice, we cannot really talk about smoothness of this one form with the definition we have given so far, because Tm is just a set, it's not a manifold yet. In fact, it will never become a manifold in this course. So we cannot really talk about smoothness of this form currently, but we can do so in a special case. So let's see an example to understand what is going on. Example. Let M be a one manifold that has a global parametrization gamma from AB to M. As I have remarked in an earlier video, all one manifolds do have such a global parameterization, assuming they're not compact. Assuming that they are non-compact one manifolds always have such a parameterization, but we will neither prove nor need this fact in this course. This is just an example. I'm already taking a manifold which has such a global parameterization. Okay, of course I'm assuming gamma is C1 smooth. Okay, now denote again by T of T to be gamma prime of T by norm gamma prime of T. Okay. So this is well defined because this is a global parameterization. So the derivative will never vanish at any point. So this T of T is nothing but the tangent vector, unit tangent vector. We have already seen this before. Tangent vector. Okay. Now clearly this T of T is a basis for T gamma of T M. So the vector, the unit tangent vector, will be a basis for the tangent space at the point gamma of t, simply because the tangent space at gamma of t is a one-dimensional vector space. Okay. Now we are going to define the arc length form on M as ds of x comma v is by definition just the unit tangent vector. I must put gamma inverse x simply because this unit tangent vector is a function of t. The reason why I have made the unit tangent vector a function of t and not a function of the point on the manifold is because even though here we have a global parameterization, in general when you have a curve, the same point could be revisited multiple times by the curve, so there will be an ambiguity if I had just put t of x, if I had treated the tangent vector as just a function of the point on the manifold. So for this stupid reason, I need to treat the tangent vector as a function on the set AB and not on M. Okay, that technicality aside, so ds of x comma v is just this unit tangent vector dot product v, the standard inner product in Rn. Okay, so this is the definition of the arc length form. Clearly it is a one form because on each tangent space it's going to give a linear functional. It's just a scalar product with a fixed vector, so obviously it's going to be a linear functional on each tangent space. Now why is this called the arc length form? As you would have guessed by now, somehow this form is related to the usual arc length that we have already studied in some detail. So what we are going to do is the following. Define the function f from M to R by f of gamma of t is by definition this omega of gamma of t comma t of gamma inverse t. Okay, so if omega is a one form, not necessarily the arc length form, omega is some one form, I can define this function like this. Of course, this is assuming that this gamma is a global parameterization, otherwise this gamma inverse t doesn't really make sense. There could be several points that map to the same point. The objective now is to use this function f to show that this arc length form ds that we defined is in some sense a basis for all one forms on this manifold M. So what we are going to do is we are going to compute what gamma or omega of gamma of t comma v is going to be. Now we already know that the unit tangent vector is a basis for the tangent space at the point gamma of t. So what I can do is I can express this vector v using this basis and the dot product. So by simple linear algebra, I can write this as omega at gamma of t comma the component of v along the vector t gamma inverse of t, that is along the unit tangent vector. So this will give me the component of v in the direction of the tangent vector. In fact, since the basis is only one dimensional, this is essentially going to give you the coordinate of the vector v in that basis. So to get back the vector v, all I have to do is do t gamma inverse at t, okay, which is the basis. So omega of gamma t comma v has been expressed in this somewhat complicated way. Okay, but this vector omega this scalar v dot t gamma inverse of t, that's just a number. So what I can do is I can use the fact that this is a linear functional to sort of pull that outside. So I can just write this as omega of gamma of t comma t of gamma inverse of t and v dot product t gamma inverse t. Okay, but this omega of gamma of t comma t gamma inverse of t, we had just called it f just a few minutes ago. So this is nothing but f of gamma of t, and this quantity, the dot product v dot t gamma inverse of t, was nothing but the differential form ds. So this is nothing but the differential form ds at gamma of t comma v. Okay, so what we have managed to do is we have managed to express any differential one form on m, any differential one form, in terms of this arc length form ds, where there is a coefficient which will be a function that is varying depending on the point. Okay, so what is the net upshot of this discussion? Well, we can define now smoothness, continuity, etc. of a one form defined on a one manifold that has a global parameterization. Okay, so what we can say is, if we say one form omega is continuous, differentiable, etc., if the function f composed with gamma has the same property on AB. Okay, so for curves that are manifolds, globally parameterized curves that are also manifolds, the definition of smoothness of a one form is rather easy. Okay, if M does not have a global parameterization, if M does not have a global parameterization, we can still do this analysis locally. We can still choose a local parameterization gamma from CD to M. Okay, and we can consider again this image of gamma as a one manifold and repeat the discussion above. What I mean by this is, locally, at least on the image of gamma, we can write any one form omega at the point gamma of t comma v to be some function f of gamma of t ds of gamma of t. Actually this should be ds of gamma of t comma v, exactly like before, treating this piece of this curve as itself a one manifold with a global parameterization. Now let me make one cautionary remark. If we had picked a point B in this image of gamma, okay, if you had picked a point B in this image of gamma, then by the definition of a manifold, I would get some other parameterization gamma 1 from, let's say, some r comma s to m that contains B. This is just the definition of a manifold. Around each point you can get a parameterization. Around this point B also I can get a parameterization. Okay, now the issue that happens around this point B is the fact that this new parameterization gamma 1 and the original parameterization gamma that we chose need not be the same in sense of direction. There is no direction associated to just a manifold. Curves come with a natural direction. The direction traversed by the curve is the direction you get when you move from left to right in the interval of definition. How the curve moves determines the orientation of the curve. But gamma 1 could be pointing in the opposite direction. So what happens is, these tangent vectors are not uniquely defined when you don't have a global parameterization. in these local parameterizations, these unit tangent vectors could change direction. They could become negatives of each other. They could flip a direction. Okay, so these will be addressed in more detail when we come to orientations of a manifold and when we try to define integration on manifolds for a general differential form. Okay, now it is intuitively obvious that a curve has only two possible orientations. One manifold can have only two possible orientations, but we have to somehow translate this intuition into a rigorous definition. So let me make some general remarks about what these complicated definitions are trying to say. A differential one form assigns to each tangent space a linear functional. This is something I have been harping about several times. When you express this differential one form in local coordinates, in a local parameterization, we can define continuity, differentiability, etc. by using this function f. Okay. So essentially, in more fancy language, this is called passing to charts. You will learn more about charts in a proper course on smooth manifolds, but this is called passing to charts, and passing to charts and then defining notions of continuity and differentiability and smoothness is a box standard thing to do in manifold theory. Okay. Now, we have not assumed that M has a global parameterization, so we can do this only locally. But that's not really much of an issue. However, if you have a global parameterization, we can right away define integration on a manifold M. Suppose gamma from AB to M is a global parameterization, then we can define the integral of a one form omega on this M to be nothing but integral A to B omega of gamma of t comma gamma prime of t dt. Okay, and this is nothing but integral A to B, the function f that we have already defined, f of gamma of t norm gamma prime of t dt. Okay, so here f is nothing but the function omega of gamma of t comma t of gamma inverse of t. Okay, this is f of gamma of t. Okay, so essentially what is happening is these differential forms, by providing a way of measuring the length of tangent vectors in the tangent space at each point, acts as a general density. So that is the analogy to keep in mind. So differential forms here allow us to measure in some sense the length of vectors in tangent space. So to understand all these abstract concepts, I'm going to leave you with an exercise. Show that if M has a global parameterization, then integral over M of this arc length form is the arc length of M, right? So the terminology arc length form is well suited and it agrees with the notion of arc length that we have already seen. So please work out this exercise so that these abstract things will become clear. In the next few videos, we are going to move on to higher dimensions. We are going to study general theory of differential forms. We will develop them first on vector spaces and then specialize to Rn. So the next few videos are going to be abstract so that it will be really good if you solve this exercise before moving on. This is a course on real analysis and you've just watched the video on one forms on one manifolds.